This may be one of the lightest full suspension e-mountain bikes around. Might be the coolest one too. Let's weigh it. So it's a Levo SL at under 32 pounds. Under 32 pounds. Most of my enduro bikes weigh more than that. So how did we get here? We started with the Levo SL S-Works and we paired away until it got under 32. And we're gonna show you all the details of how we did it and also give you riding impressions of how it's working out. Range, power, handling. So stay tuned. Okay, so it's not a cheap bike, but we got some tips for you in the end. Started out over 13 grand and we took away most of the parts. They advertise it at 38 pounds and change for a large size. So I did get a large size even though I'm only 5'8" because I like that long reach. And it was indeed 38 pounds. Took it tubeless, got to 37. And then the next big chunk was the tires. The tires were these Butcher tires with grid casing, and they were quite heavy, well over 1,000 grams. So what we have here are cross-country trail tires, which are very big, so not a lot of knob. XR3 and XR2, not a lot of knob, but nice volume and very nice grip. So they're more on the light side, more of a proof of concept, but they are light and they perform well. We already took it on a couple rides, big descents, and they were fine. The next big weight savings is the wheels. The wheels are crucial. Not only do they save weight, but they also add to the appeal of the bike, the handling of the bike, the climbing. So what we have, so it comes with Roval control, I believe, and they're good, but they're quite heavy, 1,800 grams, I believe, for 29ers. And these are also, what's special about these are Covey XXX wheels by Bontrager, under 1,300 grams. And you don't find wheels under 1,300 grams, especially for how well built these are. Carbon wheels, 30 millimeter internal, and I've used this on my Levo, I've used it on my Enduro, and it's fine. It's dead true, spins fast, and so it was the perfect match for this one. It's my cheater wheel set. Basically, if I want to lighten a bike, I always put these. And then we went with, by the way, it has pedals. That's right, 38 pounds, it didn't have pedals. I do have flat pedals, and these are the Expedo Magnesium. I've had them for 3 years. So awesome. I think they're like 260 grams. Put on the E13 cassette, a little bigger range than what's stock. It allows you to shorten your chain too. But it's 330 grams. The gold XX1 is 350, so not a lot of weight savings there. But you know, when I was chasing grams, I had to do it. Change the rotors, a little smaller. 180 is what I'm going for. Magura rotors, the best. And my rationale for that is these brakes were the same as the Levo, which is a 50-pound bike. If I get it down to 30, I don't need those massive brakes. In fact, these are 4-piston calipers anyway. And it's not going to do the same trail as what my coiled out Levo is going to do. So the brakes, and then I have a bunch of other tricks, saddle, grips. These are they're very light, but they work very, 140 grams for this Pro Turnix saddle and lizard skin. Grips are 20 grams total, I believe. So, okay, now we're gonna get to, I have a few other details I'll add to the end, but I'll get to the core of the weight savings here. So now I'm like 35 pounds now, maybe 34, and I needed to drop a bunch of weight, you know, like a wrestler with a match the next morning. And luckily, and this is why I was so inspired by this project, is this platform enables that because it runs off water bottle batteries and an internal battery. And the internal battery you can remove. It's non-structural, and it has another benefit. So here it is. It's a bit of an involved process. It's not like the Levo or Shimano or whatnot, where you can just drop it. It is in there underneath the motor. For them to have the best weight savings and stiffness, they made it non-removable, non-field removable. So you have to drop the motor, unbolt these two, and slide it out. But what's really cool is that it's completely independent. This is non-structural. It operates completely normal without this one. And you just rely on this battery and a couple others. So maybe 3 of these would set you up pretty good. But now we drop, so this is 4.3 pounds, and that's 2.1 pounds. So now you drop 2.2 pounds. So that's a big one, right? And then before I get to the ride impressions, I'll let you know about the final details that I did. I checked everything. It has the best cranks. Praxis Carbon has a Fox 34, which is actually appropriate for this kind of bike. And bars are good. Oh, I took out the tool. So there's a tool inside here, which is kind of cool. It's a chain tool. It's a multi-tool. Amazing, but it's heavy. So I took it out, and I'm just going to run different tools. And the final details are I dropped the remote switch for your motor. And you say, oh, you need to change motor modes. Actually not. So you can change motor modes right here. You have to reach over. But here's the best part. If you configure your Levo correctly, it actually has an automatic mode where you don't have to switch motor modes all the time. So I'm going to talk about that in another video. But basically, you make one mode, give you the whole motor, get a little support if you work a little, all the support if you work a lot. And you almost never have to change motor modes anymore. So I didn't need that remote. And then I went crazy, and what did I do? I got the dropper post remote and threw it away. So this will be a local post like this. So that's going to extreme, right? But I had to get under that hollow 32 pounds. So there's the majority of the weight savings. I think I'll stop there. 31.9 with the battery and 29.5 without the battery. So how is it to ride? So get this, it's 29.5 pounds without the battery, and it's efficient, and really, really important is there's virtually no drag with a drivetrain. It has these awesome one-way bearings, so when the motor's not working, it allows you to spin freely. They said it's not like your free spinning bottom bracket. They said it's right around there, close to a Dura Ace bottom bracket, which is one of the more sealed high drag bottom brackets, I'm sure, but it's right there. So you're not losing much. So it is a pleasure, it is a dream to pedal without the motor on, which you really can't say with the Levo. The Levo is one of the worst. Well, without the motor, you know, I've pedaled it maybe a dozen times, 24 times when I've had motor problems and when I ran out of battery, which is always no big deal, but it is a bear. So I pedaled it up Kennedy, which is a 2,000-foot hill with no motor. That says a lot, because I'm not really in like racing shape right now, but it's fine. So with the battery, you have 160 watt hours, which is not a lot. If you think of a Levo or a Shimano, it's gone like that, right? But realistically, you can climb 2,000 feet assisted with 160 watt hours. This thing is so efficient. It's so stingy with its power. It won't give you all the torque when you're starting up. It wants you to start up, and because that's the most expensive in terms of battery consumption, and also it keeps the motor cool at all times. Anyway, it's deadly efficient. So I have no doubt you can climb 6,000 to 8,000 feet with 3 batteries. So you just put a couple here and boom there. So riding, I think bottom line, it rides better with this battery because you have the weight here and you don't wash out. This one, it rides like a normal bike, meaning you weight the front and whatnot when you need to. And it's funny I say that, huh? Because wow, it rides like a normal bike. That's bad. It's not quite as easy to ride as something with a little bit of weight here. You don't want like 8 pounds of weight here, which is what an e-bike does, and you get used to it. But 3-4 pounds, that's pretty good. But you got a little weight here, so it rides just like a normal bike, but maybe a hair better, and that's a lot to say. You don't need a break-in period. You don't have to build up your upper body muscles and change your style. Same way when you first jump into a 29er or first jump into an e-bike, it's just so normal. It's crazy. So you can run it without the motor. You can run it with the motor. You can run it on eco mode, and it is just a dream because it gives you the flexibility. You have a little range or a lot of range. Basically, what it does is it makes batteries like water, meaning you carry as much as you need. You don't want to carry a gallon, 2 gallons of water for your after work ride, which is kind of what we do with these big e-bikes with 700 watt-hour batteries, because these are 8-pound batteries with a heavy motor and frame chassis to support all this. It is usually 20 pounds. It's great if you need to go up Downeyville or a ski resort many times over, Santa's Village or whatnot. But if you're just going for after work, it wouldn't be awesome if you can just carry as much battery or water as you need for that 1 hour, for that 1.5 hour ride. So that's kind of the paradigm that this thing introduces, and I think that's why it's selling so well, and that's why they charge so much. Is they have a lock on that market. So the other thing interesting that the removing this battery does, and the reason why I keep pursuing this project, is because now it's airplane legal. You can't really travel with your e-bike right now because there's a 250 watt-hour limit to what you can carry in airplanes. But and this is a 360, so it's not quite legal. But with these are only, what did I say, 160. So it's completely legal. You just have a few batteries. No one battery can be over 250, right? So it's airplane legal. So there you go. It's a proof of concept bike, under 32 pounds with a battery, 29.5 pounds with no battery. It's like mind blowing, huh? And you don't have to buy the S-Works. A friend of mine bought the, as long as you get the carbon model, the cheapest carbon model, then you upgrade it yourself. Then you can get to the 35 pound range. So I'll ride it a few times like this, and then I'll get my remote back and put a Burley front tire. So, but color me just so fascinated, because we are in the mountain bike is pretty mature right now. There's not a lot that's gonna happen, I don't think, in the next 5 years, because geometry can only get so long and slack, right? But the e-bike, I think we're in version 2, version 3. This is probably version 3 of a 10 version novel, and now it's really getting interesting. A lot more things are gonna happen, integration and better drivetrains and whatnot. But for now, this is fascinating. I know, I'm kind of jazzed. What do you guys think? Is this something you're looking for, or are you perfectly happy with the current Levo and the current Shimano based systems? Is this something would you hit this, or is it just not enough power for you guys? But what's really cool is e-bikes are going to become like mountain bikes, meaning there's going to be several different classes of them for many different types of riders, and the real enthusiasts will have well, maybe one of each or one of a couple, an enduro downhill e-bike and a trail cross-country e-bike. So this is kind of that, the foray into the light side. Thanks a ton.